And now I request Venerable Dr. Dhammapiya, Secretary General of IBC, to address.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Bhavatu sabha mangalang rakhantu sabha devata sabha buddhanubhavena sada suthi bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabha mangalang rakhantu sabha devata sabha dhammanubhavena sada suthi bhavantu te. Bhavatu sabha mangalang rakhantu sabha devata sabha sanghanubhavena sada suthi bhavantu te. Most venerable members of Mahasangha, Sri Gurumurti ji, Dr. Arvind Gupta ji, Honorable Upasaka Mr. Chandrapema Ghamage ji, and our Upasaka Dhammenda Porageji, members of media fraternity, distinguished guests, Upasakas and Upasikas. In fact, we have been having a series of events for last few days, and many of our friends, they have been traveling quite long journey continuously. I hope you are not so tired to attend this program today. And we are having this program today and tomorrow. As you have seen in the concept note and what our Dr. Arvind Gupta ji has presented to you, the media conference, Asian Buddhist Media Conclave, in my knowledge, I think it is the first time of this kind. If anywhere held, I have no knowledge of the Buddhist media personals coming together to think and find out some strategies or solutions that the world is facing today. So people ask the questions, why the Buddhism and media? Why Buddhism and business? Because there are areas now coming up to rethink the problems we are facing. I understand it is really very, very important because the communication channel, the things that are happening, which is not under our control, many things are happening. But the very important point is how we look at it, how we present the fact, how we really communicate the truth or untruth or fake truth to the world that shape the opinions of the world population and that creates some impact, either positive or negative. So here we are discussing today in this conclave mindful communication for conflict avoidance and sustainable development. Surely, when we are mindful, then we are actually with the truth, with the fact, with the reality. When we are not mindful, then we are away from the truth, facts, and reality. So it is necessary for the media persons and for everybody to be mindful of everything that's happening around us. And in order to have a peaceful society, it is necessary to communicate or have a channel to really present the positive image, a positive perspective of the things that's happening, so that we can convert or transform the negative energy into positive things, so that we can build peace, which we all want. And the media persons coming from different countries of Asia especially, I would heartily welcome you here on behalf of International Buddhist Confederation and also VIF, that remaining time today after this session and tomorrow to work upon and find out how the Buddhist community can use this mindfulness technique in our communication to the world, where we can represent the facts, the truth, the events, the teachings happening around the world from the perspective of the teachings of the Buddha, that is, which talks about mainly focusing on the present moment, to be mindful and try to work out with the underlying principle of metta, karuna, and chaga. It means compassion, loving kindness, and charity or simplicity. I hope there'll be many things coming up, and we can contribute to the world from our Buddhist perspective, how media can be also helpful to rebuild the world that we are living in. If I'm allowed, that as everybody thinks, the media people need to be given the freedom of thought, of free thinking, freedom of speech. Though I am not a media person as such, but I also communicate some ideas to people. So, if I'm allowed to think a different line of thought, what I have been thinking is, the topic we have given today, or we have taken here today, is conflict avoidance and sustainable development. But I was thinking the words of the Buddha, which says, Manopabhaghama dhamma, manosatha manomaya. It goes on that way. That means, whatever we focus, that happens. So, in English also we find saying, what you think all day long, you become. So where is your focus? That happens, that comes. This is the mental laws. There are certain physical laws, certain mental laws that operate in the nature of the world. So from that point of view, if we are talking about conflict avoidance, whether we are to avoid or not to avoid, whether we are to resolve or to avoid conflict, but our focus is still on the conflict. Still on the conflict. So I was just having some other line of thought where I felt like, say, darkness, dukkha, suffering. So is it appropriate for me to discuss the avoidance of darkness, avoidance of suffering, or lighting of the lamp or light, which automatically will eliminate or remove the darkness? So our focus area is not on darkness. So we don't have to talk about avoiding darkness. Once you light, darkness will disappear. It's natural. It's the truth. So when we build up peace and harmony, the suffering will disappear. So from that point of view, I was thinking, definitely this is also very important initiative. We'll be working on that. Whether can there be any other alternative thought that we work on something called harmonious coexistence. When there is harmony, when we work for harmony, automatically conflict will be reduced. And also this harmony, not only among the human beings, harmony, yes, coexistence means it will include all other species. We are talking about the conflict, mainly the religious conflict. But the religious conflicts, it has its root on different belief systems, different ideologies. So when we work together to create harmony and understanding for coexistence of all, and that also beyond borders, whatever is truth is truth. So it doesn't have any kind of border or identification. This is the Hindu truth, Buddhist truth, Christian truth, or your truth or my truth. Truth is truth. Suffering is suffering. Conflict brings always suffering. So that's what my understanding. Maybe we can think also creating a harmonious coexistence beyond borders of all the living beings. And that can be another approach that we can work on. The next point is sustainable development. I have a very big doubt on this concept of sustainable development. Are we really ready for this concept, sustainable development? This is my question. The sustainable development is for development, the very concept of development. When we talk about development, what comes to my mind, or to our mind? Naturally, it comes the picture of the material development, big buildings, and high-speed, widened roads, big malls, many cities. All these things are coming as the picture of development. Is it real development? Can this kind of development be sustained? That is the question. Because when we destroy hundreds of trees, hundreds of lives to build one house, one bridge, do we think that this is definition of development? We are causing much harm to create something, 1 unit or 2 units of things. And we create so many things. If human minds are not developed, and if human minds are full of all whatever is happening now, hatred, egoism, anger, and a sense of competing with others, fighting with others, if our minds are not developed, do you think this kind of development will last for long? Who knows tomorrow? There may be a very big kind of explosion that somebody might press the button and whole thing, all the building structures will be in the dust. Possible. So what I understand is if we are to have sustainable development, we have to focus not only on the material development or the physical development, but also, very importantly, the mind development of the minds of human beings, irrespective of your background, religion, or nationality, caste, and creed. And in order to have the development sustainable, what I understand, we have to also learn from nature, how nature lives, or how nature goes on. I was thinking a world where there is no human being. What would happen in that world? Actually, I don't have that writing. I just have composed some poem on that. I don't have it with me right now. No, what I understand is, if we look at the nature, the animals and the other living beings in the nature, they live naturally. They take only whatever is required from nature, they use it and be happy. Then look at us, what we are doing. We are not only exploiting the nature or using the nature to meet our need, but we are exploiting nature to such an extent to store which are not required for us today. Storing up. So that is why necessary to have sustainable development, we have to learn from nature. That means what? We have to practice the Indian value. We have something called, of course, Indian values, human values only, something called in Buddha word Pali, it's called chaga. And it is in Sanskrit, I think it's called tyaga. Tyaga. That means we have to let go many things. We have to give up, abandon, renounce all the things we are possessing, keeping with us, which are not necessary, in fact. So are we ready for that? This is the question. So if we are to have sustainable development and build peace, so we can also have this conflict avoidance conferences and discussion. At the same time, I would propose have discussion and conferences on peace building, harmonious coexistence with all living beings, and work on this line, that how many of us are ready to practice the three concepts of tyaga. I mean, tyaga, renounce, not to amass so many things. Take only whatever is required for us, for our sustenance from the nature. And allow nature to go in some way, to rejuvenate. And metta, cultivate the mind, human mind, have certain things, either it is in Hinduism or in Christianity, in Buddhism, wherever it is. Our focus should be on the development of human mind now, so that we can remove the elements from the mind which are responsible for conflicts, which are responsible for violence, which are responsible for destruction. Let's try to reduce that. That means practicing of metta karuna, loving kindness and compassion. When our mind is full of this loving kindness, compassion, and if we are ready to live a life of chaga, simplicity, a simple life, and when we all join hands, work together, as we desire for peace, we all want peace. When we all work together for peace, I'm sure peace can be achieved. Otherwise not. Thank you so much.